connect with our emotions. Through story, we can communicate a message or a lesson in an entertaining and enjoyable way that is memorable. Today, Beth is going to share a story with a moral lesson. Please join me in welcoming Beth Lewis, Remember the Mule. Remember the Mule, Beth Lewis.
I'd like to see a show of hands. Raise your hand if you think life is good. All right, life is good. Now keep your hand up if you think life is easy. Life is not easy, and it's not supposed to be. In fact, we build the strongest character when we navigate through the trials and tribulations of life. I know from my own personal experience, the strength and the lessons that I've learned are what have helped me to develop into the person that I am today. It's hard, though, when you have a child who has his heart set on making a certain sports team and he doesn't make the cut. To put it in the context, oh, this will actually help you in the long run. Or to your spouse who is stressed out at work because his project is in peril. Or even to myself, when the sales opportunity that I've been working on for 6 months is falling apart. We live in a society where it's very easy to give up, to quit your job, to end a marriage, or to move back home as an adult child. Sometimes walking away is the right thing to do. We know that it's the right thing to do. But for many of us, we will opt for the easier path of giving up because it is just that, it's easier. And yet it doesn't get us any closer to where we want to be. I'm going to share a story with you today about perseverance that you can draw upon for those times in life when we must persevere and we need a little help in getting there. So this story is about a farmer and a mule. This farmer lived on an old dusty farm and he'd worked hard all his life. You looked at him and he just looked tired. He had lines on his face, particularly on his brow. Not so much where one would smile. The farmer had a mule that he picked up at an auction for a good price. It was an old mule, had not been treated very well by its previous owner. And the mule was happy enough to be bought by somebody who would treat him decently. And he was perfectly willing to work his life away on this farm for a good enough life. Well, one day, the mule fell into a well. He was hysterical, moaning and crying, "Oh, what has happened to me? Please help, help." So the farmer hears the cries and comes and looks down the well and sees that the mule has fallen to the bottom of the well. He was sympathetic enough that he thought, you know, this mule and the well really aren't worth saving. So he devised a plan and he enlisted his neighbors to help him haul dirt, and they would bury the mule in the well and put him out of his misery. So the neighbors come, they start hauling the dirt and shoveling it in the well on top of the mule's back. Oh, and his hysterics turn from a moan to a scream to a cry as the dirt was pelted at his back. And suddenly, the mule had this thought. You know, every time that dirt hits my back, and just shake it off and step up.
Oh.
And so that's what the mule did. With every blow of the dirt, shake it up and step up. Shake it off and step up. Shake it off and step up. Well, he kept doing that and kept repeating that phrase to encourage himself as the dirt continued to pile in. Finally, battered and exhausted, the mule emerged at the top and stepped triumphantly over the wall of the well. The mule refused to give in to despair, self-pity, bitterness, and wallow in his pain, and approached his adversity in a positive way. That's life. I like how Nelson Mandela put it. Everything seems impossible until it's done. So I hope that when you encounter adversity in your life, that you will remember the mule. In fact, right now, I want you to pull out a slip of paper and write down, shake it off and step up. And you can keep that as momentum from this meeting. Remember, shake it off and step up, and you will make it through adversity and have a good life.